So 5 world champions, as we said, Fabio Wardley, Nick Ball, Jazza Dickens, Dalton Smith now, and Lewis Crocker. How many more will we get this year? Who's close?
That's a poser. I can't think right now. Who's
so Josh Kelly fights for a world title.
Oh, Josh,
end of Jan.
That's a tough fight. That's
a tough fight against Bakram. Very tough, yeah.
He could do it. Again, he's got to be very clever in that fight. Hopefully, Adam Booth, the Dark Lord, has the right game plan for that, and Josh can exact that methodology in the fight. Maybe Moses Itauma by the end of the year. Tyson Fury, if he fights Fabio Wardley, that will be a switching of the belts. Whoever wins that one. Maybe Hamza Shiraz.
Yeah, great shout. Forgot about that. Because he is mandated for the WBC and WBO, so he's got 2 cracks potentially, yeah.
Conor Benn against Ryan Garcia if he beats Barrios.
You know, I almost feel like I'm more confident of Conor chinning Ryan, but I'm not so confident of Ryan beating Mario.
Well, we'll find out in late February, won't we? I mean, again, that's another big fight. February 21st, I think, that one.
That's been done, yeah.
Again,
February 21st.
Look at the year already. It's extraordinary. Does Dalton beat Isaac Cruz?
That's a hard fight.
It's a really good fight.
That's a great fight. That is someone that will definitely be on his chest all night.
Yeah. I think he beats him.
I think he... that's hard.
Then there's Puello and Sandor Martin as well. So
yeah,
2 and 3.
Eddie's got to be careful because there are guys out there that don't have world titles that are basically world champions in weighting. I mean, Puello was the WBC. I mean, Isaac Cruz been a world champion. That 140 division is full of guys like that. So it's got to be careful. You've got to look at these matchups because you can win a world title and then lose it straight away, as Subriel did. Like literally, you can win it and then the next fight you've lost it. So they've got to be very, very careful. All right, let's talk Prince Naseem Hamed. His movie has been doing the rounds in the last week or so. He's been doing the rounds as well, supporting said movie. Let's hear from him. Again, the movie's called The Giant. It's based around his career and relationship with Brendan Ingle. And he told us he had 0 involvement with the film until the very last minute.
Me personally, I'm not involved in this movie
at all.
I've come in at the last minute.
All right.
And that's mainly because of advertising and marketing purposes. And I've let this. I mean, I didn't even know when it was going to be done, but I found out after it was finished. So what could I do? I mean, you've got no input.
They didn't ask for your permission.
They didn't have to.
Okay.
But when did you first find out then that they were making a film about you or about your relationship with Brendan Ingalls?
So this was years ago. And then I thought they stopped it, which they did stop it. And then they brought it back because of COVID. And then, so it was like on and off. And I thought, they ain't going to make it. They're going to make it. It's all right. I'll be able to bring my own out before that. But I wasn't in time. I wasn't in time. But do you know what? Look, the fact that they've brought it out. You know, you wake up and somebody tells you they're making a film about you. It ain't that bad, is it?
There are worse days, right?
They're the worst days. So I just thought, look, better to back it, support it, and let everybody watch it because that's going to be the springboard of hopefully using it. Because I'm gonna do my stuff then. I'm gonna bring out a great documentary series with Mark Wahlberg, like we told you before.
Yeah.
0 involvement with the film. I find that strange because if a film's based on the life of Prince Naseem Hamed and that relationship with Brendan Ingle, I mean, the star is Prince Naseem Hamed. How can he have 0 involvement in a film about him?
Well, a lot of it, if you think Pierce Brosnan was the star of the movie and was playing Brendan Ingle, apparently, I haven't seen the movie yet, by the way, even though it was out on January the 9th. I'm really looking forward to watching it. There are depictions that are critical of Naz in it as well. And And obviously, he's got very involved. He's been around Pierce Brosnan. He did a panoply of interviews last week. I see, of course, from those quotes and from hearing from him just then, he was on Goldstein and Cundy. I'm sorry, Goldstein and Bent, wasn't he? And he was brilliant on there. But I am going to bring this up, Addy. I remember 10 years ago when Naz was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Obviously, Brendan passed 7 years ago, and I wrote obits on him at the time for Ring Magazine, for the Telegraph, and I would count myself as a friend and close to Brendan. When Naz was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota in New York State in 2015, as a guy who broke the rules in the ring with his brilliance, tricks, ring smarts, broke the rules outside of it. I think I remember him at the time saying about his regrets at falling out with Brendan Ingle. Obviously, that was in 97, 98, and he wasn't with Brendan again, even though Brendan had him around him and had trained him and showed him the rudiments of boxing and that incredible footwork he'd had since the age of 7. And Ingle was a boxing Svengali, if you like. And without him, we would never have heard of the Prince. I don't know if you've been to the Winco Bank gym, but Naz's parents. You have, yeah?
Yeah, I have.
And you'll see where the parents' shop was. It's literally 50 meters up the road, isn't it, from the Winco Bank gym on the corner there. So to find one of the all-time greats is an extraordinary feat from both men. And I remember, I can quote Naz from that interview saying there was obviously an acrimonious split between the two, and he wanted to put it right. And he said, I want to see Brendan and say sorry for the nasty things I said about him, because I'm so grateful for the things he did for me. The sad thing is that Brendan, who was in his 70s at the time, they never made up. And I remember trying with Dom Ingle and with Naz, trying to bring them together in that time to see if they could reconcile, but they obviously never did, and Brendan didn't want to. So it's a very sad end to the relationship, kind of around money, I think. But we've seen it time and time again in boxing, where when boxers earn a huge amount of money and maybe they don't want to pay so much to their trainers in the end, it's one of those difficult moments.
Yeah, listening to or watching a few of Naz's interviews during this media run for this film, I feel like old wounds have been opened again, which is disappointing. He's spoken about the falling out. He said some things about Brendan that I find a difficult listen, and I'm not privy to. I'm not around them. I think Johnny Nelson's responded to a few. Obviously, someone that was around both, and I almost find it's become a bit distasteful, if you like, for me, which I don't like, especially considering Naz is my hero. Yeah. Every time everyone says who is the greatest British boxer of all time, I always say Prince Naseem Hamed. Like, he's number one for a lot of people. So, but this side of it, I'm like, I don't really want to hear, especially when, again, someone's not here to almost defend themselves, if you like. I find it quite a little bit distasteful. So hopefully Dominic Ingle and Naz can sit down and kind of just clear the wounds, heal the wounds, whatever you need to do, fix it, because it's not the only one. I mean, Ricky Hatton and Billy Graham, again, a relationship that you never thought would broke down as well. Supposedly money at the root of that. So it's not the first time we're going to hear it, won't be the last, but it doesn't make it more better. Still uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, look, I go back a long way with this, and obviously I covered parts of Naz's career, and I was on the road with him after Brendan and during Brendan. And, I wrote copiously on it, and, I can recall, after 16 years together, late in 97, Ingle told Hamed that he was no longer prepared to work with him. He revealed that, or from his side, that he thought Hamed had belittled and insulted him in front of Frank Warren and Joe Calzaghe, saying he'd achieved nothing, claimed he'd been paid late and his fees reduced. And Brendan said some hard things about Naz as well, and it embittered their relationship. He'd mentioned at one time, I think it was in one of his books, that he'd made money his god, which was kind of an unkind thing to write, and said that Naz had become more obnoxious as he became wealthier. Look, it's a real shame, but Brendan was a guy who'd come and was a blacksmith striker. He'd come from Ireland. He ran the hills in the mornings. He boxed himself. He ran 8 miles in the morning. He was a custodian of discipline, and he took no prisoners. But Naz is the same. Naz was amazing. Naz was a pathfinder. Naz was an inspiration to your generation, people in their early 40s. He was everything. You know, I was already covering him. I'm 10 years older than Naz, and he was amazing. He was spectacular. The cameras came on when he came to life when the cameras were on him. I remember sitting with him in training camp in America. I went to see him on my own one day, and I sat in a revolving chair, and he bounced around me and showed me his movement. And we talked about Sufism. He's a beautiful human being, Naz, and he's got 3 beautiful sons and a beautiful wife. I just think it's really sad that the two men didn't reconcile before Brendan passed away.
Yeah, very sad indeed. But look, the movie, the Giant, is in cinemas now. Go and watch it. It is around the story of Prince Naseem Hamed growing up, tough area in Sheffield, and going on to become one of the greatest British fighters of all time, and the relationship he had with the late, great Brendan Ingle.